praises be to the Most High. All praises be to the Most High. Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys stay blessed. And today's lesson, we're gonna cover on covenant. That will be the topic of the lesson for today. And as always, I thank you for joining me. And do please subscribe and like this video, share it, and help this channel grow. And this channel is all about edifying the Most High God. So let's begin by our prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is thy kingdom, thy power, thy glory, forever. Amen. So yes, we will talk about covenant. So, in the Webster's dictionary, it says covenant. The definition for it, it states usually formal, and it's a binding agreement. So basically it tells you it's a written agreement or promises, usually under seal between two or more parties, especially for the performance of some action. So this is the worldly definition of it. Now, there's all sorts of covenants, binding agreement. It could be filing some type of contract. It could be signing a form of divorce. That's a form of taking part of a covenant. You have all types of covenants, whether it be good or bad. You have evil covenants dealing with witchcraft and all sorts. So, but we're going to cover down on the covenants of the Most High. So as you know, within the scriptures, there's a list of covenants that the Most High established with his people, with his nation. And it's 5 of them. We have God's covenant with Noah after the flood, Abraham's covenant with God, which took place in Genesis, which laid the foundation for the nation of Israel, and also the coming of the Messiah, through which God would bless all the children of Israel. And we also have the Moses covenant, deals with the children of Israel being baptized within the wilderness and receiving the God's laws to keep and uphold as the nation of Israel. And finally, we have the covenant with King David, which pointed ahead of Israel to the coming of the Messiah, who would rule on David's thrones forever. So these are the covenants that's in the scriptures in the Bible, and we will cover down some of the key areas within the scriptures where it mentions covenant. So we will begin at Genesis chapter 6, verse 18. Genesis chapter 6, verse 18 states, "But with thee will I establish my covenant. Thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife and thy sons' wives with thee." Now this is the Most High speaking with Noah before the flood. Now, let's jump to Genesis 9, verse 9. Chapter 9, verse 9. And I behold, I establish my covenant with you and with your seed after you. It's still speaking about Noah and the Most High. Genesis chapter 9, verse 11. And I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood. Neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. And the Most High decided to speak with Noah after the flood. And he displayed this covenant by displaying a rainbow during the times of after the flood. Genesis verse 9, chapter 9, verse 12. And God said, this is a token of the covenant which I have made between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generation, which is the rainbow. Verse 13. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. So this is the covenant the Most High displayed on the earth between himself and the whole earth, that he will not flood it again. Genesis chapter 9, verse 15. And I'll remember my covenant which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh, and the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. Genesis chapter 9, verse 16. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. Genesis chapter 9, verse 17. And God said unto Noah, this is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all the flesh that is upon the earth. Genesis chapter 15, verse 18. In the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river of Euphrates. So this is the beginning of the covenant of the Most High is making with Abraham. Genesis chapter 17, verse 2. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. Most High promising that he will bless Abraham, and he will also bless him by allowing him to have a whole multitude of seeds of generations and generations. Genesis chapter 17, verse 4. As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. The Most High promising Abraham that he will have many children throughout the whole world. Genesis chapter 17, verse 7. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed, and after thee in their generation, for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. So here the Most High is establishing more of the covenant he's made with Abraham and his seed. And as you can see, brothers and sisters, it states, I will establish my covenant between me and thee, thy seed after thee in their generations. So that's us and generations to come, for an everlasting covenant. So this is something that stands forever. There's no, it hasn't been nullified. It's still present to this day, to be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee. So he promised if we stay within the covenant, he'll continue to be a God for us and for our kids and our kids to come. Genesis 17, verse 9. And God said unto Abraham, thou shalt keep my covenant thereof, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. Genesis 17:10. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. Most High laying the foundation of what is expected of the covenant. Genesis 17:11. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you. This is proof of the covenant. Genesis 17:13. He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money, must needs be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. Genesis 17:14. And the circumcised man child whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, the soul shall be cut off from his people. He had broken my covenant. Genesis 17:19. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant within his seed and after him. So this is the Most High continue showing the forth of the covenant that he promised to continue to have with Abraham. And he's mentioning to Abraham that, hey, your wife is going to have a son, and you're going to call him Isaac. And this is well within this is the time between when they were very within their old age, which they doubted the most that they couldn't bring forth life due to their age. But the Most High mentioned that they will happen, and how he will continue. Notice how he keep emphasizing he will continue the covenant with his seed after him. So that's the Most High is telling you that, hey, he does not change. He's gonna continue with this promise. Genesis 17:21. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this time in the next year. Genesis 21:27. Genesis 21:27. And Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them unto Abimelech, and both of them made a covenant. Genesis 21:32. Thus they made a covenant at Beersheba. Then Abimelech rose up, and Philcah, the chief captain of his host, and they returned into the land of the Philistines. This was the time when Abraham went to war, and the other nations made a covenant because Abraham was kicking butt, so they had to come up and make an agreement with him. Genesis 26:28. And they said, we saw certainly that the Lord was with thee, and we said, let there be now an oath between us, even between us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee. Genesis 31:44. Now therefore, come thou, let us make a covenant, and I and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. Now we're jumping up to Exodus, during the time of Moses. Exodus chapter 2 verse 24. And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham and Isaac and with Jacob. So this is speaking when the children of Israel were in bondage and slavery in Egypt, and the Most High heard their groaning and crying, and he remembered his promise, his covenant that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Exodus 6:4. And I have also established my covenant with them, to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their pilgrimage, where there were strangers. Exodus 6:5. And I have also heard their groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. And the Most High still haven't forgotten his people. He hears them, and he remembers his covenant with their forefathers that he made. Exodus 19 verse 5. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the for all the earth is mine. So the Most High is also regarding, again, if you keep his covenant, which is his laws, he will make you a peculiar treasure. You will be the apple of his eye, and he will make sure that you're above all people, because the earth is the Most High's. Exodus 23 verse 32. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. So this is the Most High telling you not to make any type of agreement with them or with their gods. Exodus 24. And he took the book of the covenant and read it into the audience of the people, and they said, all that the Lord has said we will do and be obedient. Now this is Moses really speaking to the children of Israel, and the children of Israel promised to comply with the Most High's laws. Exodus 24 and 8. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord hath made with you concerning all these words. So basically this is Moses and the children of Israel, him baptizing the children of Israel, because the children of Israel decided to keep that oath and go into agreement with the Most High. Exodus 31-16. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath through their generation for a perpetual covenant. So as you can tell, it tells you that they are to keep the Sabbath and to honor throughout their generation for a perpetual covenant. So this is very important. Exodus 34 and 10. And he said, behold, I make a covenant before all thy people. I will do marvels such as have not been done in all the earth, nor in any nation. And all the people among which thou art shall see the work of the Lord, for it is a terrible thing that I will do with thee. So he will promise to perform miracles. Exodus 34 and 12. Take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither thou goest, lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee. So take heed that you not make any covenants with the inhabitants of the land. Exodus 34 and 15. Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a whoring after their gods, and to sacrifice unto their gods, and once call thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice. So as you can see, brothers and sisters, as we go through these, as I go through these reading these scriptures with y'all, as you can see, the Most High, the covenant still is the foundation of the law of the Most High. All the stuff that is stated within the covenant still is deeply rooted with the laws, the commandments of the Most High. He's telling the children of Israel, even to this day, take heed that you don't follow the other gods and you go whoring and you start sacrificing and calling unto them and doing sacrifices to them. This is all still an abomination. You're going off of the covenant. Exodus 34 and 27. And the Lord said unto Moses, Write thou these words, for after the tenor of these words I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel. Exodus 34. And he was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water. He wrote upon the tables the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments. This was Moses in the mountains with the Most High, fasting in the presence of the Most High, writing the laws and commandments. Now let's jump to Leviticus chapter 2 verse 13. And every oblation of thy meat offering shalt thou season with salt, neither shalt thou suffer the salt of the covenant of thy God to be lacking from thy meat offering. With all thine offering thou shalt offer salt. Leviticus 24, chapter 24, verse 8. Every Sabbath you shall set in order before the Lord, continually being taken from the children of Israel by an everlasting covenant. Leviticus 26 and 9. For I will have respect unto you, and make you fruitful, and multiply you, and establish my covenant with you. Leviticus 26 and 15. And if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant, and that ye break my covenant. Leviticus 26 and 25. And I will bring a sword upon you, that shall avenge the quarrel of my covenant. And when ye are gathered together with your cities, I will send the pestilence among you, and ye shall be delivered into the hand of your enemies. So the Most High is telling you, if you go against my laws and my commandments, I will render judgment on you. I will send your enemies against you. Leviticus 26 and 42. Then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land. Leviticus 26, verse 44. And yet, for all that, when they be in the land of their enemies, I will not cast them away, neither will I abhor them, to destroy them utterly, to break my covenant with them, for I am the Lord thy God. So the Most High is letting you know, even though will be in the land, hands in the land of our enemies, he will not cast us away. He will not abhor us. He will not destroy us completely, because he won't break his covenant, because his covenant is everlasting, because he does not lie. He changed not. The Most High changed not, brothers and sisters. For I am the Lord thy God. Leviticus 26:45. But I will, for their sakes, remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt, in the sight of the heathen, that I might be their God. I am the Lord. Now let's jump to Numbers, chapter 10, verse 33. And they departed from the mount of the Lord 3 days' journey, and the ark of the covenant of the Lord went before them in 3 days' journey, to search out a resting place for them. Numbers 14, verse 44. But they presumed to go up unto the hilltop. Nevertheless, the ark of the covenant of the Lord and Moses departed not out of the camp. Numbers 18, verse 19. All the heave of the offerings of the holy things which the children of Israel offer unto the Lord have I given thee, and thy sons and thy daughters with thee, by statutes forever. It is a covenant of salt forever before the Lord unto thee and to thy seeds with thee. Numbers 25, verse 12. Wherefore say, behold, I gave unto him my covenant of peace. Numbers 25, verse 13. And he shall have it, and his seeds after him, even the covenant of an everlasting priesthood, because he was zealous for his God. He made an atonement for the children of Israel. Deuteronomy. Let's jump to Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 13. And he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, even 10 commandments. He wrote them upon 2 tablets of stone. So, brothers and sisters, it is clear the covenant is still here, still in effect, is still present. The Most High hasn't done away with it. The Most High still wants us to abide by his laws and his commandments. So, I hope this lesson shed some light on the covenants, and I hope y'all make this reign in your head, in your memory. Understand this is very serious, that we continue abiding by the covenant, abiding by the laws of the Most High. I thank you for joining me. Feel free to subscribe, like, and share. All praises be to the Most High. Have a blessed day.